Hello, people, and welcome to the very first episode of Thrasher Opera House Presents. I'm here in the studio at Thrasher Opera House with Rachel Avery, our executive director. My name is Riley Eisnagel. I'm the tech director here at the Thrasher Opera House. Rachel, can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to actually do with this podcast? It's not like the world really needs another podcast.
Well, of course I can tell you what we're going to do here, Riley. And I think the world does need this one more podcast. I think it's really important that we share with our listeners and our fans and our patrons a little behind the scenes information about what goes on here at Thrasher, not just from the day-to-day stuff, but during a show day, maybe some of the tech geekery, as you would put it. And do anything from special in-person guests here at the studio to artist interviews, either over the phone or over Zoom, because that's something we can do these days. And we have some really cool artists that are coming up. And why not take advantage of just talking to them before their show and tell people what they can expect coming up.
Speaking of artists coming up, Skerryvore is coming up this week.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I had a chance to sit down and talk with one of the band members. It's super exciting because it's a sold out show. It was actually, Skerryvore is the first show we had to cancel when the pandemic started. That was March of 2020. So almost 2 years we've been waiting for this show to happen.
Finally, it's happening.
And, it's interesting to hear what they did during the pandemic and how the wheels have slowly started turning again, not just for Skerryvore, but other artists that we're having coming up. I talked with the guys about what the fans can expect on Saturday's show and what fans will be missing out on if they didn't get tickets to Saturday's show.
Well, let's listen to the conversation.
Sounds good.
Hello, today I'm speaking with Daniel Gillespie from Skerryvore. Skerryvore is going to be at the Thrasher Opera House this Saturday, January 15th, and it's a sold-out show. We're really excited to have you. Welcome.
Thank you. Delighted to be coming back to Thrasher. It's a few years since we were there, and it's been a few years, I think, since this show was originally planned. So it's amazing to think we're finally going to get there after 2 years. I think this show actually was going to be the next one for us when we cancelled our tour back in March 2020, and we were scheduled a couple of times.
I remember it well. It was the first one we had to cancel, and
right.
What a whirlwind that was.
Yeah, a lot's happened since then. So
absolutely, yeah. Speaking of which, you guys have done some pretty cool things during that time. You know, when you couldn't perform for live audiences, I think I saw that you performed on like a huge ship, and you did some live streams. So what was that like? Yeah,
it's been very surreal. I think the first thing we did when we arrived back from the US, within the first couple of weeks that we were there, my brother Martin composed a tune, a piece of music, as a tribute to the frontline workers that were out sort of fighting the virus and stuff like that. And we had this thing in the UK where people stood outside the front door and applauded for 5 minutes on a Thursday night for all the people that were out there risking their life, to save others. And this piece of music sort of was inspired by that. And it took off. We performed it. We got to encourage people that played instruments to join in and play outside their homes, and it went to number one in the charts. So we had our first ever number one sort of like a month into this happening.
Who would have thought?
Pandemic. So, it's obviously been a terrible thing, and it's cost a lot of lives, but we always try and focus on, there's been lots of things that we just had to be positive about and try and use our music to help people, get through it. And then there was quite a big period of time from there where there was uncertainty. I remember us flying back from the US and thinking, it's okay, we'll be back by the summer, or, we'll be back soon. But then we began to realise quite quickly, we're not going to be back soon, so what we're going to do? And obviously online stuff was just getting busier and busier, but we didn't want to just do another Facebook Live or another online stuff. We want to try and take it as what we do in terms of live show and try and get that as close to the experience as possible. So we spent quite a long time and we spoke to different people about filming it. And the very first one we did was in a whiskey distillery, a new whiskey distillery in Glasgow. So what we did is we took the audience on a tour of the distillery, like a walk around, showed them this new distillery in Glasgow, and then we performed inside the distillery. And it was amazing. I think, we sort of hoped if we can get a couple of hundred people to tune in, and it was something, I think it was like 6,000 folk in 27 countries tuned in.
Oh my
So
gosh.
then we thought, right, what are we going to do next? So the next one, we did Robert Burns Museum. We did a tour of that and did a performance there. And then the last one, you're talking about the ship, is the ship Fingal, which was it served lighthouses. And years ago, it was a lighthouse service ship. And it actually went to Skerryvore Lighthouse that we are named after. So there was a really good tie-in, but it's now a luxury hotel based in Edinburgh. So it's a floating hotel park, and it's an absolutely stunning ship. So it was a nice tie-in with that, and that was our last live stream. And we've done small things, but I think in total we reached something like 28,000 people across the 3 streams in about 31 countries. So as I said, there's been a lot of negative things. We've not been able to tour, but it's been amazing, trying new things and connecting with people in a different way. And hopefully it'll be something that can stay alongside the live thing, that we can still have online stuff that allows us to share Scotland with people, all over the world. So.
Yeah, it's quite amazing how many doors were opened. When it seemed like a lot of doors were closing, well, a lot of them were. Folks like you and other musicians and the whole creative industry had to do just that, had to get creative and find ways to open doors. And it's kind of cool how we're still doing some of those things even now that the wheels are slowly turning. I say slowly, but they're turning. And so yeah, we can take some of those lessons and those things we created with us into the future.
Yeah, I think that's important because it was always something that people spoke about, or maybe you could, live stream a show, and there was certainly a resistance maybe from the artist side of going, how's it going to sound? How's it going to look? And there's maybe a resistance from the public side of going, I don't really want to watch something online if I can go and see it live. But we were almost all forced to do this. Mm-hmm. And it's made people more comfortable with the scenario of watching something online. I think the thing for us is we just tried to go, how can we make this as engaging as possible? And so we wanted to do it fully live. I know a lot of artists did pre-recorded stuff, but we wanted to do it fully live so that people could actually send comments in real time, and we would get the messages and we could read some of them out and say, hello to such and such in Green Lake, Wisconsin, or say hello to somebody in Australia. I know it was incredible, the people that were like, there was folk having their breakfast in Australia at the same time as there were folk, doing different things at times across the world. So it was amazing that way that you're realising how many people you connect. It was strange as well, having no audience. The very first stream was very, very weird for us playing, and we set ourselves out differently rather than setting out as we would on the stage. We decided to set up in a round so that we were making eye contact with each other, and not just facing an empty room or an empty wall. So
I think what you keyed in on is the connecting. By doing it live and not just having it be a recording, you were connecting with your audience, and your audience was connecting with not only you and the band, but with each other as well. And that's the essence of live that everybody loves so much. And that's how you captured it during those online type things. But speaking of live, we are back at it. You are coming over probably in 24 hours or something like that, hopping on a plane and coming over to the US, and the first time in how long?
We did manage to go over in September against all the odds. There was a travel ban in place and stuff, and so many bands had said, they tried to get out, wouldn't get out. And even our agency, SRO, thought we were mad that we applied for the exemption to travel. And thankfully we got that. We were playing at the Ryder Cup, not too far from you guys at Whistling Straits there recently. We get asked to perform at that, and a lot of the promoters and festivals wrote letters of support for our application on the basis of going, look, there's a lot of people in the economy in America that are relying on these artists, international artists to perform. So we were delighted. We didn't know for sure, even just like a week before we were going, we didn't know whether we were going to make it or not, but we did get the approval to fly, and we got over, and it was amazing to be back, after so long off the road and getting back stateside. It was we all had a great time. And then we've been out in Europe, we've been in playing in the UK. We get stopped again in Scotland. Restrictions came back in Scotland there just sort of mid-December, so we had to cancel the last 6 shows, which was a blow after getting back on the road. But we have to be thankful that we get back, and we did play at least some of the shows in Scotland. So we've not played since about the 9th or 10th of December. So this will be our first time back together, which we're looking forward to.
Well, we sure feel lucky that you're able to come to Thrasher on Saturday. Like we mentioned before, it was the first one we had to cancel, so we've been waiting a long time for it, us here at Thrasher and all of your fans who are coming to the show on Saturday. What can we expect at the show?
Hopefully, a lot of energy from us. That's what we always like to do, is make sure people dance and join in. And, we've obviously got some new tracks that we've recorded, like the Everyday Heroes track. And we also had 2 songs playlisted on national radio during lockdown for the first time ever in the UK. So we'll have those songs to add in, as well as some of the ones we've played in the past, from our older albums and our previous visits to Thrasher. So I remember it last time, we had a great time. The energy in the hall was brilliant. So we're all looking forward to coming. But we love the Midwest. We love Wisconsin. I think there's something very Scottish about Wisconsin in terms of our outlook in life. So all the guys, I know just from speaking to them on WhatsApp and stuff in the last couple of days, they're all really looking forward to returning.
It's going to be a blast. People have been asking all the time, when's Skerryvore coming back? And they're already asking, when are you coming back after this? So
that's good. That's good.
It's a great sign that the folks around here love you, and so do we. And we can't wait to see you on Saturday. Thanks again. And if people are not able to come to the show on Saturday because it is sold out, they can catch you not far from Thrasher in Racine, Wisconsin, the very next day.
JJ, that we've known for a long, long time. He's always helped with our merchandise, helped with the festival. He's got a great small venue in Racine, and he's put on an extra show on the 16th on the Sunday. So there's still, I think, about 40 tickets left for that. And we've had lots of messages of people asking about tickets for Thrasher because it's been sold out. So if they can't make that, hopefully they can join us on Sunday. And anyone that wants a second round of music can come down as well to Racine. That'd be great.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again, and we will see you this weekend.
Thank you. See you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Even though the show is sold out, if you're coming, doors open at 6:45, shows at 7:30. We have a VIP happy hour before the show and there's a few spots left if anyone's interested. Check out our website, thrasheroperahouse.com, for more of those details. And we'll see you at the show.
After Skerryvore is done, on Monday, January 17th, Missoula Children's Theater appears at Thrasher Opera House again.
Yeah, Missoula has been here over 30 times. We've done this program over 30 times since 2002.
Yes.
That's a lot of kids.
Martha Jans, our administrative director, who coordinates Missoula Children's Theater's performance twice a year.
She got it going here at Thrasher.
She did. She thinks that this is the 34th time.
Wow. Well, she would know.
She would know.
Yeah, so there is no rest for the wicked, as they say. We have the sold out show on Saturday night, and then Monday we prepare the Opera House for 60 local kids to come do their tryouts. Tryouts are at 4:00. So if anyone out there is interested, it's kindergarten through seniors in high school can try out. And you don't have to pre-register. Just show up at 4:00 and they jump right into auditions from there.
So for people who may not know exactly what we're talking about, what exactly is Missoula Children's Theater?
Oh, absolutely. It's a 1-week theater residency here at Thrasher with auditions on Monday and then practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then the show is bam, on Saturday, 2 shows. It's a chance for kids to get that theater experience here in rural Wisconsin. You know, we're not a big city where there's theater productions left and right. We have to bring this team in from Montana to have that experience.
It sounds like it's an entire theater show production condensed into a week.
Into 1 week, yep.
With auditions and role assignments and rehearsals and makeup and costumes and the performance all happening in 5 days.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards. They get the whole experience.
Must be a whirlwind.
It's a great whirlwind. I think we do it in January always, and then another one in June. And I think it's our favorite 2 weeks of the year. It's really rewarding as a staff member here to see these kids start not knowing their lines and work so hard. And also they're working collaboratively. It's students not just from Green Lake, but the surrounding areas, Ripon, Princeton, homeschool kids. And so a lot of times when they see each other, they're meeting competitively in sports or forensics or whatever. This is a chance for them to get together collaboratively and create some, in some cases, lifelong friendships.
And Rachel, you had a chance to do a Zoom call with Missoula Children's Theater this week as well, right?
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to the directors who are actually coming to do this program on Monday. And they told me a little bit about what the kids and what we can expect.
Oh, great. Let's hear it.
Hello, I am here today with Joshua and Zachary, 2 of Missoula Children's Theater directors, who happen to be making their way to Green Lake Monday, January 17th, for Thrasher's January Missoula residency. We do Missoula here twice a year, once in January, once in June. And as always, we are so excited for this January version of Red Riding Hood. A little bit about the program for those of you who are thinking about having your kiddos try out, or any kids who are interested in trying out. Kindergarten through 12th grade, you come in on a Monday, you do your auditions 4:00 at the Thrasher Opera House. These guys can tell us a little bit more about what auditions would look like. And then you practice all week long, and Saturday you do 2 shows. It's a whirlwind, but it's a really fun whirlwind. And I think it's 2 weeks of the year, well, 1 week in January and 1 week in June, that we look forward to the most here at Thrasher. It's just really rewarding and really fun. So I guess let's start from the beginning. You guys are coming to Thrasher from Missoula or from somewhere else?
So we were being trained in Missoula, but Josh and I are actually from a little further east. I'm from New York, and Josh.
And I'm from Pennsylvania.
So,
have you ever been to Wisconsin?
Never been fortunate enough to, but with this tour, we have about half of it being in Wisconsin, so we're going to be very familiar with this state by the time we're done with this tour.
Well, I hope you're okay with cold weather, because it's a little bit cold right now.
We're gonna have to be. We're getting used to it.
Yeah, it's nothing that's too crazy. Not yet, at least.
Gotcha. So when you get here on Monday, and when the kids get here on Monday, what can everybody expect?
Want me to take this one?
Sure.
All right. So on Monday, we will arrive a little bit earlier, and get a tour of the space and figure out exactly what the best location would be for the audition itself. Then when the kids arrive, they can expect us to walk through the audition process, which won't get into too much detail, but we'll give just a little teaser.
No spoiler alerts.
Yeah, very, very laid back. It's us walking through a few basic acting things with them, figuring out which individuals have very strong voices, which individuals are very strong in groups and have strength in numbers. Same thing with dance numbers, very, very laid back audition style. And then by the end of the first 2-hour session that day, we will have the entire cast picked out and selected, and we begin rehearsals that night after a 15-minute break, where the people that are staying throughout for the second session, the first rehearsal, they can have like a little snack break, and everyone else who is in the show will be sent home with a cast letter that will have a detailed look at what the week will look like for their parents to see, and they'll know exactly what each cast member is called.
Okay.
It's fun. It's relaxed. They'll be on their feet. They'll be doing things. They'll be engaged. And we'll just mostly be having a lot of fun.
If a child hasn't had any theater experience before, are they able to come try out for this?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's even encouraged. I mean, this is a very good, like you said, it's a whirlwind 1 week, crazy busy time, but it's a really nice introduction, especially for theater and getting a feel for what this side of the arts can feel like.
And if you're someone that's never done this before, this is literally perfect for you, because we will take you through every step. We say dance numbers, but it's like, I mean, it's nothing to be intimidated by. It's mostly just movement. It's expressive movement. It's just using your voice, using your body to tell a story. Yeah.
So for somebody who's been wanting to try out theater, but is intimidated by some of the longer productions, this is actually a really good introduction, because it's a week long, which is kind of long, but not too long, enough to sort of get the hang of things and really give it a try.
Yes, it's a very good opportunity for especially newcomers in the theater.
Yeah, it's a shortened show. It's about an hour, but it is a week. So it is, I don't want to say an intense process, but it's quick. It's engaged. You're not going to be sitting back and relaxing. We're going to be on our feet. We're going to be moving, having fun. And if it is new to you, you're not, we're going to do the best we can casting. And usually it goes pretty well. So we're going to put you in a spot where you can really thrive. We're going to find that role that's right for you.
So what kind of skills can parents expect their kids to be working on during the week?
I think the biggest skill that they will be working on is focus. Obviously, the kids will have at most 4 hours with us for 5 days. And we, like Josh said, we move very quickly. We only have 1 week to put on this 1 hour production with costume and the set and everything. So the biggest thing that we really will skill-wise be focusing on is being sure that the kids are focused, present, and really ready to just work. But again, of course, it's a very fun process. So it's not something that's very strict and regimented, something that's a little bit more laid back, but requires that focus to be brought back when they start to get a little distracted.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I would say teamwork is huge, because, teamwork and communication, because we have to work together to do this. We have to focus on what we need to focus on to get the ball rolling. And the whole thing is just, how do I communicate? How do I express with my voice? How do I express the story I'm telling? How do I express what my character is saying? And so teamwork, communication, and focus.
Those would be the big three, yeah.
One of the things I've noticed is a lot of confidence being built up. When students come in at the beginning of the week, there's a lot of kids who are a little shy, a little unsure of their abilities. And it's just amazing to see by Saturday, after those shows are over, how they're just beaming with pride and confidence. And they've built friendships with students from other schools that they've never met before. So there's a lot of things even beyond theater that you're learning and building when you participate in Missoula.
Absolutely. The process really is where, that's where the gold is. And you go through this process, and maybe it's something you've never done before, and you go in never having done this before, and you come out having done something and having done it with other people, with this community of people, and having achieved something. And then you get to do it in front of your parents and in front of your family, in front of your friends. And it's just,
that's the icing on the cake.
Yeah. Exactly.
The theater aspect of it, I guess, much fun as important as that is, I feel like a big thing that they teach us at Missoula is, though doing theater is great, it's more so about those things that you said, about creating something, about those kids that go in very shy and timid and come out very confident. It's very much, like Josh said, teamwork and building stuff. It's more so about the life skills than just the 1 week of show that they will be working on.
One thing that we noticed when we had the June Missoula, and it will be the same for this January Missoula, is that the students will have to wear masks as well as our audience. And instead of looking at that as a negative or saying like, oh, we have to do this, the directors approached it as almost like, this is just another thing to overcome, and you can overcome it. Like, life throws us curveballs and we just work with it. And Missoula can sometimes incorporate those masks into the costumes and just make it a part of the show.
Yeah, exactly. For us, it's the same way. The masks are part of the costumes, and they had the exact right mentality. It's just another challenge. It's just something else to overcome, and it'll make it better.
And we just roll with it.
Exactly.
That's life. Awesome. Is there anything else you want to add, like your favorite parts of the week? For you as directors, what is the most rewarding part of a week of Missoula Children's Theater?
So this is both of our first times touring with Missoula, and we are currently on our first week in residency. We just started our first time yesterday, so we haven't gone through an entire first week yet. But just based off of what we had yesterday, I think, at least for me, the most fun part about it is when you see a kid who's like a little shy and a little timid. Like we had some people yesterday that there were different activities we were doing that they were like, I don't really want to do this right now. They were a little shy, and we were like, that's completely fine. That's fine. We're not going to push you too far out of your comfort zone. But after maybe 5 minutes, they went from sitting in where the audience would be seated to on stage, being a part of it. So I think for me, at least, it's being able to like draw those kids out of their shell on their own terms rather than like forcing them to come out and make them feel like they have to be social, but just like, letting them be comfortable enough with us and the other actors to experience something new like this. I think that's probably the biggest thing for me.
The growth from point A to point B, like seeing that is the coolest thing.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I think Missoula does very well in the way they design their rehearsals is one of the things is they put some of the older kids like almost in charge of the younger kids, and there's this sort of role model aspect to it. And at the end of the week, you see these littler kids looking up to these bigger kids who have the bigger roles. And it sort of inspires them to, okay, next year when I try out, I want to get that bigger role. And then you see those bigger kids take on that leadership role, which is also really important. So I just have to commend Missoula on some of those, I don't want to say tactics, but whatever the word
structure
is.
of their weeks. Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of goodness there, more than we can talk about in a short interview. But actually, there's no better way to discover it than participating in Missoula Children's Theater yourself, or as a parent watching your student go through Missoula. One thing I do want to mention is that here at Thrasher, students don't have to pay for this opportunity. We keep it free for all students to participate, thanks to the strong community support we have and partnerships with our sponsors. So lots of love goes out to the community of Green Lake and beyond for making this available to our community's children.
That's wonderful. We're honored to be able to be a part of that. Yeah. I mean, any community that supports the arts is fantastic, and that's really exciting to know that we're going to be a part of that over the next week.
I think when you get here, you'll feel the love. We love Missoula Week, so just wait. You get home cooked meals when you're here. I don't know if you knew that yet.
All right.
I did not know that. That's awesome.
Say no more.
We've been at a hotel room for the last week, and we've had to like live off of like Walmart rations, it feels like.
Yeah. Well, you get some home cooked meals from some of our very best volunteers. So that's something to look forward to.
That's very wonderful. Thank you.
Well, good luck with this first residency, and we are so looking forward to seeing you on the 17th.
Us too.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this interview. This has been wonderful.
All righty. You guys take it easy. We'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Well, folks, just a couple of things coming up after Missoula. We have John McGivern's Main Streets featuring Green Lake coming up on February 1st. John McGivern was here over the summer, and he did videos with some local businesses and around the lake, and featuring some of Green Lake's hot spots, some of our traditional spots too. So that premiere is happening here on the 1st. If you want to get tickets, you go to the Green Lake Chamber of Commerce website. And then after that premiere, we have Willie Porter, one of our favorites, coming on February 12th.
Willie's getting close to 2 decades at Thrasher Opera House on an annual basis.
It's amazing.
He's a great talent and a great performer.
We're looking forward to having him back. He always brings something new, and I think this time he's bringing some new talent with him, too.
That's pretty exciting. It'll be a great show.
More on that next episode.
Right.
All right, folks, that's it for today. Thanks for listening to Thrasher Opera House Presents. Be sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, if you need anything else, go to our website, thrasheroperahouse.com.